Imagine what it feels like to trust your own next step. Think about looking at something that you've possibly been circling for months or even years, whether it's a decision, a change, or a conversation, and giving yourself the space to move forward with it. As that comes into your mind right now, you might notice a certain feeling or feelings rising with it, reaching for steadiness, which, makes perfect sense. So let's hold a place for that feeling and move it gently to one side and get curious about it for a moment. So we're just going to pause and take a breath. And as you exhale, imagine feeling clear and settled, at peace with your decision, noticing that that voice is still there, but it's just off to one side while you picture what it might feel like, the ease, the freedom, when you step forward. Before we get into today's video, if you're a gay man who knows there's more and you want to connect with other gay guys on a similar path, the Freedom Community on School is where that happens. There's conversation, genuine connection, plus it's ad-free, just like social media should be. There's also a ton of resources, including videos, courses, and masterclasses. You can connect with guys around the globe or come and join one of the live calls every week or one of the monthly live Q&A calls. I'm in the community every single day offering support and cheering you on. Come for the lessons and stay for the banter. It's free to join and the link is in the description or scan the QR code on screen now and I'll see you inside. Now, if you're anything like I used to be, you might be telling yourself that you just need more motivation, you need more time, that you're waiting for the right time even. Think about, what does motivation look like for you and when is the right time? Today, we're going to explore that together. But first, if you're new here, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the coaching sessions. I'm David, and this is a space for gay men who are ready to move forward from feeling like second best to being fully seen in their relationships, in their choices, and how they see themselves. So I invite you to hit like and subscribe because this genuinely helps reach more men looking to move forward. So without further ado, let's get into today's session. Now, frustration might be one of the first things you feel when you sense the urge to move forward. It's sitting in the gap between what you know you want to do and taking the first step to doing it. That pause in your mind, it's looking for some solid ground, and solid ground is exactly what we're going to give it today. So let's get specific. What's the next best step? Take that one thing and then break it down further and think of it like this way. If you wanted to do 100 push-ups a day, you wouldn't just go plowing into all 100. You might start with 5, maybe 10, maybe even just 1. And over time, you build it up and you build that muscle memory of taking action. So each small action builds naturally on the last. And when you can see the next step clearly, it becomes easier to take it. I want to ask you something, and I want you to just sit with it rather than try and answer it immediately. How long have you known that something needs to change and been living alongside that knowledge? And for a lot of guys that I work with, the honest answer is a long time. And what I found is, and this took me a while to fully trust, is that men who sit in that gap the longest are almost always the ones with the clearest picture of what they want. The vision is sharp, the self-awareness is right there, and that clarity is already a resource in itself because it means something. And yet from where you're sitting, that gap can feel like evidence of something, like a story that you've been carrying around about who you are and what you're capable of. So here's what I want to offer you instead. What if the gap between knowing and doing is simply a misunderstanding about how change actually works? Most of us have been taught through every system around us that clarity comes before action, that you plan first, then you move, that you need to feel ready before it counts. But here's what actually happens. The more action you take, the clearer things become, the more momentum that you build. And momentum, it turns out, is where motivation lives. So you don't actually wait for the feeling, you just move towards it. So the question that opens the door is simply this: what would one step forward feel like today? So I want you to pause here for a second, because I imagine in something that I've just said landed somewhere specific for you. Maybe a certain area of your life came to mind. Maybe you felt a small shift or a bit of recognition, something settling into place. And just notice that for a while. Just stay with it for a second. You don't need to go anywhere or be anything right this very moment. And that feeling is useful information because it's pointing at something. So think about it this way: better questions produce better directions. There's this principle that you already have everything inside you that you need to be able to take action. And this is where breaking it down opens things up. Picture yourself already at the outcome that you want. And as you do, turn your mind around and look back to today and picture what steps it took to get there. Walk back in time to the starting point, observing each stage as you go, and think about and notice what becomes obvious. Let's take it a step further. Picture a morning a few months from now. You wake up and you're moving towards it consistently, and the ground beneath you feels a bit more solid than it did, and you just feel a bit more sure of yourself and where you're headed. And this is what it looks like. A morning where you feel like a man who has kept his word to himself. The voice in your head changes its tone. You start making decisions from that place. So more chosen than fallen into. And you can feel it in your body, that sense of weight behind every choice that belongs to you. Now, that version of you is exactly the same person that's watching right now. He just has a few months of small steps behind it. So I want to invite you now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable and safe to do so, or just soften your gaze and let the screen blur slightly. Picture yourself, again, just a few moments from now. See where you are, notice the space around you. What does it look like? Maybe it's the same room. Maybe it's something different about the way that you sit in it. Something a bit more settled. Look at your posture. See the expression on your face. The one that belongs to a man who has been choosing himself consistently. Now listen to that internal voice for a second. What does it sound like? Not necessarily the volume, but just the tone. Hear how much steadier it is. How you would tell your friends about those choices late at night, and notice again how much clearer that voice is. And now you feel into it, that sense of having showing up for yourself consistently over time. Just let that settle in your body for a moment. And when you're ready, think about what's the first step that comes to mind. And if you've had your eyes closed, I invite you to open them up now and just notice the sense of peace that's around you. Now, I'd love for you to drop that step in the comments, name it, even one sentence. The act of saying it out loud moves it from thought to intention. And intention is where the motion begins. And if you want to be in a community of guys doing exactly the same work, the doors to the Freedom Community, which is my coaching container, are open. And you'll find the link in the description below. Until the next session, my friend, take care and be well.